They're 9-1 versus teams below 500, but they're only 3-8 versus teams above 500. That is completely switching. So the Lakers are beating good teams. They're beating good teams, and they've buried good teams. Buried Boston, buried the Nuggets, buried the Clippers. So for me, like
the Knicks on the road.
Knicks, thank you. The Knicks. I mean, they
Pacers without, and Pacers are playing good ball. Pacers without, that's the AR game for 45.
45. That's without Luka and LeBron. And by the way, the Pacers, I think, going into that game were Allen or maybe 9-2 of their last 11. Like they were the hottest team at the time. Nuggets had won 9 in a row. So if you're a Laker hater, you can throw out all the, it doesn't matter, second night of a back-to-back, all that BS. This guy was hurt. Listen, the Lakers have beaten good teams, and they've beaten them handily because they're executing on both ends of the floor. That has to mean something, right? That has to mean something.
It's funny. I was reading Knicks had lost yesterday. Maybe it was to Boston or something like that. And the big storyline around the Knicks right now is how they basically can't beat elite teams. And instantly, and I think they're 6-11 against teams over 500. It was something like that. One of those stats. I'm like, yeah, that was the Lakers. There was always hesitation. It's like, all right, well, what does it help if you're beating these bad teams? And you're supposed to beat the bad teams.
Yeah.
But against the good teams, can you go around 500? And now all of a sudden you look at your schedule and you're like, wow, you're 10, 12, 15 games over 500, whatever it is. But you're right that has flipped. And the way it's flipped, it's so odd. Because like you mentioned, these are games without AD and Max Christie, or these are games without Luka, or these are games without LeBron. Yeah. And then I thought Saturday night was one of the first games where it's like, we got all our best guys. They got all their best guys.
They're at home and rested.
They're at home and rested. It's against Denver. This is a team that's owned the Lakers. And, that obviously walked away from tip all the way to the end, really controlling the game. A lot of teams almost in support of the Lakers here, at least in the Western Conference. You go look at the standings here for a quick second.
A lot of guys lost, buddy.
A lot of guys lost.
That we needed.
I think what's fascinating here, let's just look at the loss column here for a quick second. So Memphis has 20 losses.
Yep.
Denver has 20. Lakers have 21.
21.
So, and Rockets are right in the mix here too, but Rockets
22.
have also 3-7 in their last 10 games, so they're going in the wrong direction. Clippers have lost 5, or they've lost 2 in a row, but they're 5-5 in their last 10. Minnesota's lost 2 in a row. So there's a little bit of a cushion here, which I know Lakers are not accustomed to, being in this kind of comfortably top 5 in the Western Conference. What do you make of just, I guess I'm curious, how important to you is the standings or being top 4 or top 3, or is it more just, hey, as long as the Lakers are gelling and they get some, time to figure out how they can mix? I'm just curious to your thoughts on the standings or where they're sitting.
It matters to me because I feel like they've taken a big step this year, and you need to finish it. And that means be above the line. Now, obviously, I don't want to be 6 because then you open on the road, but I'll take it. I need them to be out of the play-in game this year because they've been in it for the last 3 seasons. Don't want them there anymore. They've had a way better season than that, and they've given themselves this cushion because they've taken care of a lot of those teams that we were talking about up below 500 early on in the year. Those wins matter. I care. When I know the tip-off for me, Alan, that shows me standings matter to me is when I care on a Sunday night about OKC and Minnesota. Because I want Minnesota to lose because I want that cushion to grow even more. When I'm checking the Pacer Clipper score, because everyone who knows me knows I don't watch Clipper games. I won't even turn on the TV unless they're losing at the end. Then I love to watch it. And by the way, I have a lot of respect for them. They're really good, but that's how I feel. We have a thing, me and the Clippers, and it's just how I roll with them. As great as they are, I'll listen. Great owner, great reader, real happy for him. I'm not watching them, but I'm looking at that score because I know they're right behind us, and I know we're playing them twice.
Sure.
Right. So I'm looking at that game. I'm looking at the Cleveland score yesterday. Those games are all of a sudden very meaningful when you're looking at the landscape of where we are, because I know 27 games, 28 games sounds like a lot. It's not when you're chasing 4 or 5 games like we have in the past 3 games. It's not a lot because teams have to remember when we were always like, oh, we're only 3 games behind the 6th spot or 3.5 games behind the 6th spot or the 7th spot. That's where we were. It's a lot. Yeah,
you need a lot to go your way.
You actually got to be over 500 by about 6-7 games, and they need to be, under. So now we're building that cushion. And I know the road ahead is very tough. So if you can build a little cushion, you're allowing yourself to have a little slip up here and there. But to answer your question, like, the standings matter to me. They do. It's what makes it fun. When I'm not watching them, it's usually not great news. I probably look at them more than most people. I know you and me both do. We've talked about this so many times off air and when we're together. Like, I remember when you come on the show, you and I, like, we're the 2 guys that are always like, dude, there's 37 games left. And, we're very dialed into the standings. But Alan, I can't lie to you. I want a home series. I want it. I want to open it freaking home. I want a top 4 seed. And by the way, there's 2 losses that haunt me still, Alan. And you could go through the whole season, and we don't have a lot of them. Orlando at home, when Wagner hits the 3.
Sure. Up 4 with 16 seconds to go.
Because the game was over.
Yeah.
The game was over.
Yeah.
And I forget the AD missing free throws. Was that the game?
They went, and it's funny that we both know this detailed. They went 3 of 9 from the free throw line in the 4th quarter.
Thank you. That's the game.
Yep.
That game haunts me because it was a win. And then Charlotte this past week, because Charlotte sucked in that game. They didn't play well. So you give me those 2, we're all of a sudden a 2 seed. That to me is mind blowing. You win those 2 games, we're at 19 losses.
But I agree with you on I haven't really thought of it that way. I think it's you've had this mentality of just staying out of the play-in that you almost forget. Yeah, how about just starting a series at home? How about just being when's the last time? And I know it's probably not too crazy, but probably was it Lakers Suns? Maybe I know maybe Suns even had home. I can't remember when it was, 2020 or 2021. Obviously 2020, you're in the bubble. But I'm just trying to think here. You're right. Like, imagine starting a 7-game set, and let's just say you're the 4 seed and Houston's coming to you, and all right, let's go to work. Or you're number 3 seed, whatever the case is, and you got Clippers in the first round. I don't know if that will ever happen, but just having a home. You're right about.
You tell me the last time, because I know you'll figure it out. 2020, we were in the bubble. That was the problem. 2021, LeBron's hitting the miracle shot to Steph. Right,
oh,
we're the 7th seed. Remember, we were the number 1 team. We were 21-6, bubble shortened season. 21-6, number 1 in the league. Solomon Hill, then on LeBron. AD goes down. We end up being up 2-1 as a 7th seed against Phoenix. Phoenix goes to the finals, by the way, and lose.
And end up losing that.
2022, we don't make it. 23, we go in all the way to the Western Conference Finals, but we had to win a play-in game. We had to win a play-in game last year. We have not had an opening round series, dude, since 12.
Oh my!
It has not been in our network.
God.
I've been at the network 13 years. We have not opened at home.
All right, thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.